I'm told that watching Yitzhak Perlman play violin in person is really something. When he comes onto the stage, he walks with leg braces and crutches to his chair. Then he has to unbuckle the braces and put down the crutches. He arranges one leg tucked under the chair and one leg resting forward. Then he bends down to pick up his violin. And only after this long, laborious process is he ready to play. I heard about one particular performance of Perlman's. He was playing at Avery Fisher Hall at Lincoln Center in New York. He went through this long ritual to get onto stage and be ready to play, picked up his violin, nodded his readiness to the conductor, and started to play. But then the unthinkable happened. One of the strings on his violin broke with a loud snap that resounded through the auditorium. Everyone knew what Perlman would have to do now. He'd have to go through the whole process of getting up from his chair, walk across the stage, go backstage to either find a new string or a different violin, come all the way back to his chair, repeat the ritual with his braces and his crutches and his legs. But that's not what he did. Instead, he closed his eyes for a moment, breathed, and then signaled the conductor to begin again. The orchestra began, and he played from where he had left off. To make up for the absent string, you could see him modulating, changing, recomposing the piece in his head. At one point, it sounded like he was detuning the strings to get new sounds from them that they'd never made before. When he finished, there was an awesome silence in the room, and then an extraordinary outburst of applause from every corner of the auditorium. Everyone was on their feet, screaming and cheering. He smiled, wiped the sweat from his brow, raised his bow to quiet the room, and then he said, not boastfully, but in a quiet, pensive, reverent tone, "You know, sometimes it is the artist's task to find out how much music you can still make with what you have left." Since the beginning of Elul, this story has been stuck in my mind. I feel like everyone I know is trying to play life with one string missing. There's so much loss that it's easy to get swallowed up by it. I wish I could go backstage to find a world where I can go to shul in person, where I can have people over for Shabbat dinner, where I can visit with people in person, even if we're indoors. I feel a sense of helplessness and gloom and melancholy in our world of protests, political divisions, unrest, violence, and COVID-19. So how can I deal with this feeling of gloom and melancholy? Well, there's two ways. One, by working to help where I can, a visit in my backyard with a friend, get in touch with my lawmakers to let them know my thoughts, virtually meet with friends to talk about and then implement ways of making the world a better place. And two, go inward. During Slichot, I had the privilege of hearing my friend, Rabbi Eric Razin, remind me about a teaching from the Hasidic master, Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav. Rabbi Nachman teaches that it is important to find the spark of good and focus on it. Even in pure rottenness, there is always the tiniest spark of good. Find that spark. Focus only on the spark until it grows, until there is nothing else other than good. Rabbi Nachman's teaching continues. He says, it is through this that melodies are made. The aspect of playing a musical instrument is the aspect of gathering the good ruach, or spirit, from the ruach, the spirit of gloom, depression. And then we learn that for Rabbi Nachman, good ruach means prophecy, a certain kind of close relationship with God. In other words, music is the path for being in direct contact with God. Rabbi Nachman anticipated Yitzchak Perlman's challenge of playing music with one string missing. When the string broke, Yitzchak Perlman didn't stop playing and limp off the stage to frantically try to find another string or another violin. He stayed on the stage. He breathed. And then he started playing again, adjusting, retuning, modulating, recomposing in his head as he went, gathering up the good ruach, paying attention to his connection to that which is greater than himself, to make beautiful music. So may it be for us, starting now and going into 5781. May we have the ability to see God even in the dark places, to focus on the sparks, to hear the melody, and even to play beautifully, even though there is a string missing. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it come to pass.